guys.
Hi, Dia.
My name is Sue.
Hi, my name is Sue.
And this is Dear Bride.
Wow.
Yes.
It has been a very lovely feeling getting your feedback.
Yes.
Episodes that have dropped.
Thank you guys for engaging us and for commenting, for liking, for sharing. Also, just getting to our DMs and telling us these conversations are really helpful. We really appreciate. So if you're here and you have not subscribed, ever hit that.
Subscribe to our journey. And also engage with us. Tell us your experiences, because most of these things are very relatable. And there are things that are happening to you in real time.
Yes. So let us know on the comment section. So Sue, what are we talking about today?
Today's topic is, what would I tell my younger sister about friendships? Wow. So we are both older siblings.
Yes.
And we have younger sisters.
Consolidated.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So we are like, what would I tell Kathy or Mary or
Joy
about friendships?
I think number one, what I'd tell my younger sister, in this case Joy, don't over-sacrifice yourself to please people. The ones who truly love you won't require you to tone down to accept you and ought to be your friends. I say this because I think when I was young, I did a lot of people pleasing. Like if I feel like sometimes my personality can be very strong. And if I feel like I'm coming off too strong, I would tone down and shrink so that, I am accommodated in my friendship. I would go out of my way to get people things. I would go out of my way to, even time-wise. I was doing a course that was very demanding. But then I'd go out of my way, even during exam season, to do things for people, just to please them, to fit with the friendship. But growing older, I realized, I did have to do all those things to feel in a friendship. I didn't have to perform. And right now, if you cannot accept me the way I am, stay there. Yes, stay there, please.
Yeah.
Because I do not need to change. Of course, there are those not so pleasant things that you should change.
Yes.
That we are a work in progress, all of us. But it doesn't mean you discard your personality entirely just to be accommodated in.
Especially that fitting in.
Yeah, I don't know what your experience has been, especially when you are younger, like in terms of friendship. I don't know what your experience has been.
My experiences were interesting. So I ended up being friends with people who are slightly older than me. So I feel like most of my friendship experiences were group friendships. Then we have a group here because it's fun. We have a group here because we have fellowship together. So it's such instances. Yes, it's true. You'd find yourself doing things because so and so is doing, so and so is doing. I want
so that you also appreciate.
Yes, exactly. But then also on the flip side, I think there was the part 4 that was liberating, because now everyone is like more or less their own person. Sort of end up meeting your people. You find your people amongst this group.
You find your tribe.
Exactly. So I feel like mine weren't those extremes of,
changing
and shrinking. However, you'd find yourself, there's the other sign for influence. Yeah. Because my friends are doing missions, I'll go for missions because my friends are going. Or because my friends are going for a live something, I will want to go because they're going. So I think it's twofold. There's the
influence, and there's the side where you discard your personality, so that you fit in.
Yes.
I totally get it, because I think for me, what influenced a lot of me not being exactly who I would have maybe wanted to fully be is also influenced by the fact that I lived in an estate that had very how do I put it? I want to look for the right word to put it, but people who had money and so sometimes you have to try
and
and
Kufika hapo.
But then as we went along, by the time I think I was in Tadia Kote, I was like, me, I'll just do me, by the way. If you want to, okay. If you go on. But the initial years were quite something, should be told. And as you're saying, I found my tribe along the way.
Yes.
Such that by the time I have a friends group that I have been friends with since campus. We are floating 13 years on.
Yeah. That's
Because I found my tribe as we went along. But as a fresher,
yeah, I get you, Kabisa. Yes. So another one is not everyone who claps for you is for you, and not everyone who corrects you is against you. Learn the difference. First of all, I think there's this pressure when you're younger to get a mentor. Oh, I need a mentor. mentor.
Anyway, I was finished.
So I remember an instance where you were in this specific church, and in this church, I think at that particular point, it felt like when you were closer to the pastor, the lead pastor, you were the it person, you get? So that meant that most of us really had this pressure of, I want you to know my business. Like, I need to be close to you so that you can give me advice.
So you use that, you come with that angle so that you bring them close.
Exactly. So now, in this mentorship, right? So first of all, I've never understood mentorship. I've realized that for me, mentorship is more on the side for work. Most times I feel like I've had women in my life who have mentored me for a season. So how again the people say, my mentor said that. But in this series, in this instance, I did have a mentor. Now we would sit down, but then now, first of all, our cultures were different. They came from a different culture and different country altogether. And so mentorship in their culture meant something different compared to what ours was. Because you see, Kenyans are very laid back. You don't have money no more. And when you head to the West African fight, guys just go all out. Exactly. Now, put that into context. And then now, on the flip side, people will project some of their issues. So now they started mentoring me with residues of what my parents have gone through. So it was, don't date this person for this long because your parents.
So you had given them information fully.
They were aware
the background, everything, and they would use that.
Yes.
To now.
Exactly. So now that's when I realized not everyone who corrects you is for you. Right. And sometimes the correction or the advice given to you is not relevant. Going to someone speaking, projecting their fears, or looking at you with the lens of what has been.
I think I had someone say that people will always look at you from the perception of who they are.
Exactly.
And they will always look at you from their lens, the lens of who they are. And so they will, of course, project what they are. I think also in terms of mentorship, for me, the first real mentor I've had was right before I got married. Believe it or not. Throughout life and throughout campus, my parents would speak into situations and I would look for slightly older friends. And so at that point, I just didn't see the need or use for a mentor. But then now, right before I got married, I got one who has now, of course, kind of mentor right now. But also just to say, concerning not everyone who corrects you is for you, there are people who will at times correct you from a jealousy lens. Like they're not happy about what you're doing or who you are or where you're going. So they'll come tell you, stop being aggressive. You don't need to be aggressive. Not because you need to stop being aggressive, but because they just don't like how you are aggressive. Exactly. So we need to also be very cautious.
Yes. Yeah. Also, especially right now, because there's this war of Gen-Z's this, Gen-Z's that. Because most of the people who are younger than us currently are Gen-Z's, Gen and us. And it's just realizing that sometimes it's not a Gen-Z thing, sometimes it's just a there.
It's true.
There.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Not everyone. There's a part I think we've not talked about.
Yeah.
Not everyone who claps for you is for you.
Ah,
People who just want to please you and just be around you, maybe because of what they get from you,
yes.
or maybe because of just who they are and what influence they will get by being around you. So they will keep floating and tapping for you. But in real sense, they're not. And then I think the other thing I would tell my younger sis, you can love people deeply. I think this one I have learned. I have learned as I've grown older.
Yeah.
You can love people deeply, but still outgrow them. That doesn't make you disloyal,
Yeah.
and it doesn't make you a bad person.
Yeah.
Majorly because there are personalities, there are qualities you will develop that will automatically shadow something along the way. And imagine it's not a bad thing. It is allowed.
Yes.
It is something that will happen. In fact, don't feel guilty. It's true. Because there are those versions of yourself. There are people who along the way you just need to live so that you become the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you agree with that statement or
They
you
said sometimes people so like now as an entrepreneur, there's this saying that we see around entrepreneurship that sometimes the reason why people who are close to you don't support you is because they have placed you in a certain box, and because you have moved past this box, they can't just see it. They really can't. They wamekuweka tu hapo. So it means that kama umewekwa hapo, hawatawaiona when you grow. They'll never see when they will only now, actually with another one for social media where they say people will only support you when now others are supporting you. When they see
and
that
most
you're
of the
not.
times that's what happens.
Exactly. So it's the same thing. Sometimes old connections or long-serving connections just don't work because people have placed you in a certain box, and that's the idea they have of you, and imeishiato. No matter you keep me or you death me, they will never, ever see you in a little light. Or even how you've seen parents see you as a kid, as a child always.
It will never change however old you grow. Your parents will always see you as a child.
Yes. So this gives you permission to actually evolve because we're evolving in this season. And as we evolve, it's okay to love someone forever. By the way, you are not bad, I'm not bad. You're just not go together anymore.
Yeah. And there are those that will just choose to distance you. There are those that will just choose to walk away. Let them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's okay to also just say, in case you feel that this is no longer serving me, it's okay to say no. No is a complete sentence. Use it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. But something else I would tell my younger sister about friendship is your self-worth is not a group project. It's not decided by relationships, validation, or approval. Know your purpose, or at least be brave enough to go looking for it. When you find it, pursue it with shameless audacity. First of all,
say love like it is not a word.
Say it with me, with us. Repeat after us.
It is not a group project. I agree.
Yes. What are these? You can't codepend your way through self-worth.
It's true.
It doesn't even work in marriage. So
I don't know that you said that. I don't know who gave people the idea that you are 50%, someone brings 50%. For me, you are 100%. Someone cannot complete you. They complement you.
Yes.
So nobody is even coming to you need to work on yourself. You cannot deride your self-worth.
Yeah.
And people I am this because I'm with Nani, as this because. So when they're not there, who are you?
Yeah. And this actually happens because, for example, someone like myself, I did civil high school, right? I have friends who did the same thing, but I realized that even though, yes, this is what I'd like to do, that's not where life is taking me at the moment, and I decided to take the narrow path. Taking the narrow path of business meant that people who, my peers who we went to high school together, guys who we did university together, we had different trajectories. First of all, bootstrapping in business is quite different. So that means you're losing people because why? You don't have money. That's just the truth. You're sometimes burnt out and you don't have the capacity to be there for your people at your particular point as you learn. Also, you're going through heartbreak because you expected people to support you and actually they are not. And so this means that you just now have to put on your big girl pants and Niteke kaile. This is the path I've decided on, and this is the path I will take. And I will not, I will not veer off. And so the interesting bit is because self-work is not a good project. Business teaches you how to remember that you are what you are. The character development you go through because of business, because you're thinking down on yourself, teaches you to now start appreciating yourself and now even you see the evolution from when you start business and say 5 years in. And now this means that along the way, you also find people who value you the same way you've been valuing yourself as. So yes, there are some connections that will stay and there are some that you will veer off from. And then now there are some you will get belly because of the work you're putting.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think also in the corporate lens, if you doubt yourself, I'm telling you, I think we were talking about it just today, that you need to be very confident in who you are. What are your capabilities? What can you do? Who are you? I mean, if I came to you and told you, I want you to pitch an idea of who you are in 10 minutes, what would you say? If you were to sell yourself on who you are in a limited time frame, say you got a funder who came to you and told you, who are you in 10 minutes or let's say 5 minutes. Oh, do you say you are? So you need to know who you are. You need to keep your thing, get it right, know how to express it, know how to pitch it. And I'm telling you, people will actually, sometimes it's not about how much publication you have. It's how you present yourself. In terms of what can I do? How far can I go? What are these things that I'm bringing to the table? Look, I know you're at the table, but still, what are those things you can do?
Yeah. So a question would be, how then do you find your self-worth, or how do you go through this journey of knowing yourself? So what are some things you've done to find yourself?
For me, that number one,
confident in who you are.
Number one thing is I drew my identity from God. Is the author or a publisher, of course, of it. And is the one who starts this thing in us. So for me, number one was finding God. When I found God, I knew that I am loved. I knew that I did not have to seek validation because he knew me. Okay, guys, I will have to talk about this lens. Guys, in case you did not know, I'm a pastor's wife. So I'm almost bringing a whole sermon here. I'll preach it. Before I was formed in my mother's womb, God knew it. That's what the word says. I think for me, that's what God's word said. And that it says. And I think for me, that really brought a lot of confidence that, you know what, even if I'm going through a hard time and I do not even know how to figure things out, God knows me. And then number two, I got to know, as now background in terms of schooling and everything, that I can do analysis, that I am a sharp girl, that I am smart, like having just confidence in ourselves. Then I think the other thing is the people around and the people that I surround myself with. Because they can either, the people you surround yourself with will determine a lot of who you become, who you are. I'll give reference to my first corporate job. A friend happened to have mentioned me in a boardroom and said, I think she can do this. And I was actually invited for an interview. And I was able to prove that I was worth that mention.
Yeah.
So, who you surround yourself with. So I got to surround myself with people who are solid, who knew God, who knew their thing, career-wise. And that helped me now, of course, slowly discover that these are the things that I can do. This is who I am. This is where I can go.
Yeah.
I don't know, as a business person, what helped you defend yourself.
But I think spending a lot of time abroad.
Oh, yeah.
So practices like journaling, is spending time in the Word of God, because as Fiona said, by the way, depending on who you believe in, You draw your identity from that. And
Yes.
because as we believe in God,
Yes.
that is where we draw our identity. His word says that she is a lamp unto our feet. So that means even though I don't see that light at the end of the tunnel, it means that current
I still have.
I am watching,
Yeah.
I'm going step by step, and I know someone is beside me.
Yes.
So that is number one. Two is knowing my values. What do I stand for? What am I called to?
Yes.
Actually, that's something else. Because sometimes you might not know what you're called to entirely.
Yes.
But because I have certain giftings and I have certain convictions, slowly God reveals them. And what I believe is some of the things that you do are not by chance and they're by this.
God orchestrates out.
I know that the engineering side I did is not the mistake. That's the analytical side of keys. Having started a party store and loving events was
My mistake.
exactly. And slowly, I've ended up being an event planner. I mean, it's not by mistake. And you know, the other things, small things like say, I used to be the one to congregate my friends, planning parties, serving this, telling people, hey, by the way, kuna this kajoit we can go to. This and this is what you need to do if you like things. God knew. So God is the light unto your feet. So what exactly are you what do you have in your hand? And then that guides you pole. And sometimes also the issue is not having patience. I think that's something that in the journey of self-discovery and, just realizing your self-worth and your confidence in yourself and in your skills and your duties and abilities, the journey of patience. And then also identifying the people who are around you at you're in a neighborhood.
I insist on patience because I think we are a generation that wants things to work. Pap, and quickly, microwave, igorishi. Please know there's process. There's process for sure. Yeah, I hope the process was you're trusting me. And then I think the other advice I'd give to my younger sis, I think this one just hits home because learn to sit with discomfort, growth, healing, and truth. Sometimes truth will feel like loss before you feel like peace. Me, I'm telling you, if there's something I never liked, it's discomfort. Me, it never liked discomfort. But I've come to realize that sometimes the discomfort doesn't last long after. It's just for a moment. And sometimes it comes to make your life better.
Yes, that's true.
In terms of friendship, for me, I never wanted to confront issues with friends. I just didn't want that discomfort of telling them I didn't like the way you did, and then it comes a confrontation, and then for me I would run away from it. So I just sweep things under the rug until one day they explode.
Yeah, you had to actually.
I had to confront it, and some of them unfortunately ended up in the friendships.
Yeah,
and so learn to sit with the discomfort, and sometimes there are friends that you will lose, and it will feel like it's a loss. But then it will come out so much peace.
exactly.
So, and learn that is a way of life and it is okay. It is allowable. I don't know what you think. So I don't think you fear discomfort.
And you fear the discomfort, I would confront and ask. But then I think I'm also learning that, you see that silence beat? It's okay for it to fizzle away as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to confront everything.
Sometimes,
yes,
silence is closure.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's what I'm learning. And I think it's okay. We don't have to address everything. Pick your battles. Sometimes pick your battles. It's not, you don't have to address it. It will fizzle out. And sometimes also I'm learning to give people, because my brain moves in 100 per second. I'm also learning to give people time to process and them to bring it out and say, hey, by the way, this is what I'm feeling ABCDs.
In terms of processing, I'm learning that there are people who process as they talk, as they go through the time. And there are people who will need the silence first to process.
Exactly.
So you need to know where you
start. Yes.
For me, I think I process first. I speak. When I'm married to someone who I think is a bubble process, of course we need to
in terms of healing, I'd say there's this analogy about healing that there are three things. Three things happen when you're going through a grieving season and you're trying to heal. There are, when you have a wound, you need to first remove the scab. Is it the scab or whatever the was not?
You press it.
Exactly. You press it and you keep washing it and disinfecting it, then you recover it at some point.
Yeah.
So think of healing in that way. There are people who their work is to keep nibbling at that wound instead of letting it be washed, cleansed, and covered. Then there are people who laugh at the wound. They're like, and all those things. And then now there are people who are actually there to help you remove the pus, clean it, disinfect it, and cover it, and constantly check on it where it's okay.
Yeah.
Know the difference between these three.
It's true.
I know the difference. And if you didn't know the difference, when you actually find out, don't assume that they were saying they were not, it was not it. Your red flags are not, they are not red. Wait. Yeah.
So when people show you who they are, you leave them.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'd say about healing. Know when to talk about the wound and know when who are these people you should talk to. And then also sometimes healing happens in confinement. Like you're not separate from people, but you're also in people's spaces.
I get.
So allow that season of silence to be there. It is okay. There are seasons of silence, there are seasons of waiting, there are seasons of dryness, and sometimes there are now seasons of abundance. So know and identify those seasons and then move accordingly.
Yeah, I think we could give another one. Self advice right before we.
Yeah. So something else I'd tell my sister, my younger sister is, protect your energy like it's currency, because it is. Where you invest it will shape your life.
Yes.
And there's a saying that says,
yes,
we are not only a accumulation or a culmination of the people we select ourselves with, but we are a culmination of the environments we place ourselves in. So I think even if you look at social media, you've seen certain celebs talk about, or influencers talk about, how the way they were, what they were drinking, and changes when they changed their environment. Something changed completely. You're now eating clean, you're not going clubbing, you're not. So you are a culmination of not only the people you relate to,
but also the environment also. Yeah, and I'll also finish with a verse that says, do not be deceived. Bad company spots good mouths. So anytime you surround yourself with people who are not the right people, it will influence you. I know there are those people who say, I will. You want to take it to Jesus. Please just don't.
Let it go.
Yeah. And Christ already died for us. What you had to do. So just let it. Please, just surround yourself with the right people. Be in the right environment. Then things will align as you go. Things will. Hey.
So if you're an older sibling, what would you tell your youngest? And if your younger siblings, are your older siblings doing their work? If not, hey, tunawa kidogo first of all PM. Hey, ni kazi. Really?
Yes.
So
but yeah, all the same, please tell us. Yes. Us, DM us. Tell us what are those things you would advise your younger siblings about French.
Bye, dears.
Bye. See you on the next one.
Ciao.